Workers' compensation insurance. What is work comp? Workers' compensation insurance, also known as workman's comp, provides benefits to employees who get injured or sick from a work-related cause. It also includes disability benefits, missed wage replacement, and death benefits. Workers' comp also reduces your liability for work-related injuries and illness. Without coverage, your employees can sue you for a work-related injury or illness to help pay for their medical costs or lost wages. This is a very important tidbit here because a lot of states, Texas being a large one, they do not require you to carry work comp, whether you have 1099s or W-2s. But just because the state doesn't require it, again, doesn't mean you're not on the hook for any expense coming out of work-related injury or illness. And I assure you, workman's comp insurance is far less than the average health insurance deductible. Work comp's always the choice. Continued. Most states require businesses with employees to carry work compensation insurance. However, each state has different rules. So the state or states where you do business will determine your workers' comp insurance requirements. Again, look to the state for the requirements, but err on the side of caution of needing more insurance that's required. Again, like in Texas, work comp's not required. That's not a good example of why you should or shouldn't get it, to be honest. So what does workers' comp cover? If your employee suffers a work-related injury or illness, workers' compensation benefits can help cover their medical expenses, lost wages, ongoing care costs, funeral expenses. These work comp benefits aren't available if your employee gets hurt or sick outside of work. Benefits may also not be available for intoxicated employees that get into an accident or employees that intentionally hurt themselves. This again comes down to your employment contract. So similar out in the trades, construction trades. Most construction trades have in their employment contract that the moment you get injured as an employee, they will instantly take you to the hospital, but they'll also require you to take a drug test to make sure that you're clean. Otherwise, work comp won't apply at all. Now, if you don't have that in the written language, that wouldn't show up, but that's very important, even for offices, to have that written in your employee agreement, that in the event of a work comp related injury, whether that's, any way that could happen, that you're stating in here, yes, we will take you to the hospital, we will start providing care, but we will not file a work comp claim until after we do a drug test. Once that's fine, clear, we will proceed down that thing. It's very important to have that in the language because if you don't, you could be on the hook for somebody being intoxicated that gets injured. You could still be on the hook for those expenses. So you want to spell that out clearly in your employment agreements. Missed wages. Workers' comp helps replace part of the employee's income if they need time off due to work-related injury or illness. For example, if a chef is injured and can't work for 2 weeks, work comp can cover some of their lost wages. Ongoing care. Some work-related injuries may need ongoing treatment. For instance, if a warehouse employee injures their back, work comp can cover ongoing care like physical therapy. Funeral cost. In the unfortunate event you lose an employee due to a work-related accident, workers' compensation can help cover funeral costs and provide death benefits to your employee's beneficiaries. Illness. Work conditions can expose employees to harmful chemicals or allergens. If they get sick from a work-related injury, work comp can help cover treatment and ongoing care. Disability. Severe work injuries can temporarily or permanently disable employees. Work comp helps cover medical bills and lost wages for disabled employees. If your foreman loses the use of his leg in a work-related accident and can't return to work, work comp can help cover medical costs and provide disability benefits to replace some of his lost wages. Who is covered by work comp? Several factors like specified roles and the size of your business determine which employees need workers' compensation coverage. Requirements can vary from state to state, but most require work compensation coverage for full-time employees. Some states have laws about workers' comp for contractors, temps, and interns. It's important to know what your state requires for work comp coverage. Now, let me be clear on this, and again, I'm not giving legal advice, but in the event that you have subcontractors, meaning they're 1099 employees versus W-2 employees, if your employment contract doesn't state that they are required to carry their own workers' compensation as a subcontractor, you could be found liable in the court of law. Most courts of law determine 1099 and W-2 to be an employee. The only differentiating factor there is the contract specifying we are not covering X, Y, and Z. You're to cover that on your own as you are a subcontractor. Again, even when it comes to part-time employees, it may not be required by the state, but I would assure you it's a good rule of thumb to get work comp. Even for office employees, employees. It's nominal. But again, to get involved in a work-related accident, work comp is far less expensive in any case than paying out of pocket for someone to go to the hospital. Some states have a minimum number of employees to determine if a business needs workers' compensation insurance. These states are Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, Missouri, New Mexico, North Carolina, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Virginia, Wisconsin. Again, even if they state that you would need minimal 3 full-time in order to provide work comp, I still think you should consider offering work comp. It's not like health insurance. Work comp is very inexpensive. It's obviously more expensive depending on the risk of work, like roofing. However, even though the work comp's more expensive due to its higher risk, you also have a higher risk of paying out of pocket in the event of. So work comp in any case. How does workers' comp claim process work? Workers' comp claim processes also vary from state to state. However, no matter where you're located, it's important to start the claim process as soon as possible after a work-related illness or injury occurs. Knowing the following requirements and insights can help you with this process. Most states have a time limit for when your employee can report a work comp injury to their manager. This is usually between 30 and 90 days. There may also be a time limit for when an employer can report a work comp injury to their insurance company. That is the one I would follow the most. Okay, because you don't want to be late reporting it if you want it to be covered under that policy. It's important you understand how the claims process works in your state and if there's any statutes of limitations for coverage, also how it works with the carrier that you have the insurance through. Make sure your injured or ill employees get immediate medical care. Your employee or the representative should notify you about the work-related injury or illness ASAP under every case.